Yeah, it's important. I think it's just the break, maybe obviously, but I think the change of speed too. My fastball and slider are pretty close in speed, so if I'm able to throw that over for strikes, it gives them a different speed, a different depth to look at, and definitely think it's important for sure.
And the seat in the back corner.
It looked like you were coming out of the game. Puig was on deck, Barnes gets a hit, and you come up and bat. Was it kind of like the old days when you were like lobbying to go another inning?
No, I mean, in that situation, it's 1-0, so thankfully Barnesy came up huge right there, got that big knock for us. Because if the runner's still on third, Puig's probably going to get that at bat, and my day's over. So that was I understand the situation. Obviously, I understand we have to score. So it wasn't a huge lobby on my part, but very thankful that Barnesy came up huge right there for us.
Standing in the back left, Andy.
Clayton, obviously the season maybe didn't go as smoothly as you guys might have drawn it up, but what does it mean to be here now, one victory away from the World Series?
Yeah, it's huge. I think, like you said, it wasn't as easy maybe as last year to get to this point, and realized we got some work to do to finish it off to get back. But yeah, if you would have told us in spring training we'd have a chance to go back to the World Series, one game to go, we would definitely have taken that, I think. So it doesn't really matter how you get here, but thankful that we are here now for sure.
Standing in the back right, Billy.
Yeah, Clayton, in the third inning, the at-bat with Aguilar, when I think he fouled off 4 pitches, with 2 strikes. What's kind of going through your mind at that point? You're throwing him a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, well, it was a great at-bat. He was fouling off what I thought to be great pitches. I was trying to, thankful to get ahead of him in that at-bat, and was trying just to stay on the edges as best I could. He's a great hitter. He had a great year, so I was just trying to do my best to, work the bottom of the zone, work the edges, try to, get him to chase as best I could, and fouled off some really good pitches, and fortunate to get a slider past him for that last pitch.
When you're, after you strike him out on that, what did that do for you? Because you didn't allow another base runner the rest of the way.
Well, anytime you can work yourself out of situations like that, it's that's going to make or break the game. Minimizing damage as best you can as a starting pitcher is huge. And, in the playoffs, you probably don't get many chances to work out of jams because you're going to get taken out of the game because the magnitude of the game is so large. So once I was able to work out of that, really just tried to focus on getting the next guy, and it happened to work out today.
First row to your left.
You don't need any motivation from game one, but just the personal satisfaction that you can get from giving your team a boost in game 5.
Yeah, I don't really, other than wanting to pitch well, I don't really think about the one before, and after this one, I'm not going to think about this one either, but to go back to Milwaukee up 3-2 as opposed to being down 3-2 is huge for us. It's a tough place to play. It's a great team, and it's been a battle every single game that we've played them so far, and we don't expect anything different when we go back. So we're in a much better spot now because of today, and I'm glad that I was able to contribute today.
The 2 last ones, Andy on the left.
Just in the first inning, when you're kind of in the dugout and you see Miley coming out and Woodruff coming in, do you allow yourself to think about what they're doing or the gradual extinction of the starting pitcher or anything like that?
It's just thinking that I have to get Woodruff out. No, I think I think it's the first inning was strange. There's a lot of challenges. Obviously, I didn't expect Miley to come out after one batter. I don't know if we were prepared for that or not, but it was for me, it's just trying to stay loose. Anytime there's a long inning, just trying to make sure to move around. I even threw some in the cage, some of the innings that were a little longer. So just doing whatever you can to stay loose in between innings.
And we'll finish up in the second row.
2 questions. One, did you stay to the end last night, or did they tell you go home and get some rest?
I did stay to the end last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given last night and the burden that was placed on the bullpen, you come into a start like this, do you feel like I've got to give them 7 innings or what have you? I've got to ease that burden on the bullpen.
Yeah, it definitely is in the back of your mind about the game last night and what you're trying to do. Probably more so in the regular season in those type of situations because, in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series, we're going to have guys probably pitching out of their comfort zones all over the place. So and that was evident today, when they were prepared to take me out after 5 innings. So we had some bullpen coverage. But, yeah, it's definitely in the back of your mind that you want to try and go as deep as possible when the bullpen was taxed as much as it was yesterday.
Well, obviously, our lineup today was different than the other lineup when we faced Miley. So, you got to prepare for the unexpected. So I liked where we were at.
So you weren't surprised when he came out of the game immediately?
Again, we got to be, you never know. It's very unconventional, but we were prepared for anything.
And right next to you, Barry.
Dave, Taylor's hustle, Machado's hit by pitch, Kershaw's walk. How big were the little things in this game offensively?
The little things played a big part today. You can go down a list of 10 things probably. The base running, the stolen base, the walk, the base hit the other way, the fight with Dozier to put the ball in play. There's so many good things that we did today and helped us win a baseball game. Clayton was outstanding today. Mixed his pitches really well. He was stressed there in the 3rd inning, I think, where he was up to 30 pitches. And big punch on Aguilar, and settled in and gave us that length that we needed. And so we kind of fed off that, but the hustle by CT, the stolen base, and that at bat by Austin right there, tough matchup for him. Woodruff is one of the best in the National League, great arm. And for Austin to hit a ball hard through the middle and tie the game up was big for us.
Second row to your right, Pedro.
Dave, on that Austin at bat, it looked like during it, I think right before the single, you were talking to Clayton explaining the situation. How significant, given the fact that it enabled you to get 2 more innings out of him, save 2 innings?
It was huge. When you're talking about a 7-game series, there's usage with the relievers that's involved, and so at that point in time, if Austin doesn't get a hit, I've got a decision to make, and whether you hit for him right there and try to log 4 innings of pen use, or let the pitcher hit. And so that Austin hit, I was kind of talking him through the situation, but once you got the base hit, it was moot.
You hadn't decided either way?
No, I was going to send him back out there. I was going to send Clayton back out there to hit if he didn't get a hit.
Other questions for Dave? JP, we'll get you the mic.
Dave, I know yesterday you described the catcher position as game to game, but has Austin learned a little bit longer leash, just considering the way the last 2 games have gone?
He's doing a great job. His rapport with the catcher, with the pitchers, as is Yasmani's, is very good. The fingers are good, the receiving good, and the at-bat quality is. This is what we've seen from him in years past, and at times this year. Not so much as we would have liked or he would have liked, but his ability to stay in the strike zone now versus right versus left, that quality at bat. He punched 3 times today, but I thought all of his at bats were quality. So he's making our decision a lot tougher, which is a good thing.
In the 3rd row on your left, Mark.
The way that you guys went up the middle, went the other way at crucial times, and especially in this game, is that something that's kind of evolved from the beginning of the series when you see the quality pitching that they have?
It has. Our hitting coaches do such a great job of trying to ingrain it in our guys and make it land as far as shortening up and taking what they give you. And for it to play out like that, and Cody especially, to shorten up on the bat, and those are big hits. Even Yasiel not coming off the ball and staying through the middle, JT, Austin, Muncy, to stay on that ball away and give us a lead. Those are big things. So it's always a process. You're always trying to get better. But for us to see that and for those guys to get rewarded, I think is encouraging.
Do a few more for Dave, standing on the right. Bill?
Yeah, kind of following up on that. You didn't hit any home runs in these 3 games. No extra base hits yesterday. Was that part of the conscious plan today to talk about in the hitters meeting, doing all those things?
Well, it was more of, I think, yeah, it was. You look at last night, and I don't think that we were with Guerra. I think we could have been better and had made him work a lot more. And today, Cody starts off, then they make the switch, and Woodruff had good stuff. But I think once we saw him a second time, I thought our at-bats were better, and just kind of trying to get him in the strike zone and not taking those big swings. I don't know how many times we struck out tonight, but I just felt that the intent, and that's something that our guys have talked about a lot lately. And when you're facing good pitching, you've got to give a little something. And if it's slug to keep the line moving or to spoil a pitch, that's not always a bad thing.
Finish up with Gabe right in the corner here.
Dave, in terms of Clayton Game 1 versus Clayton Game 5, what was the biggest difference in your view, and how was he able to find the put-away pitches that weren't there earlier in the series?
I think there was execution. I think he sequenced much better today. He had his arm side fastball, and I think the slider, from what I saw with the swings, had the depth that we like. And so a lot of it with any pitcher, it comes down to execution. But, you know, you could see the same look that you always see. There's a determination. And, you know, when you get a champion like him that gets hit around a little bit, you know, he's going to respond. And that's what he did today.
I think that's something we've talked about the whole series. I think today we just actually did a better job of, you know, doing it. They obviously have a lot of good arms in their bullpen. And it's not easy. It's tough. And I thought we did a lot better job from Austin's at-bat on. The quality of at-bats were unbelievable compared to the rest of the series.
And to your right, guys, in the third row.
Justin, is there a greater sense of urgency or pressure among you and your teammates about getting back to the World Series or winning the World Series after the success you've had, 6 division championships and 3 championship series appearances?
And that's our goal every year, is to get to the World Series. So I don't know if it's added or more pressure. That's something that we want to do every single year. So we talk about it in spring training from day one. And, you know, every game we win here, we're getting one step closer to getting back to the World Series.
Standing on your right.
Can you both touch on Chris Taylor's 5th, where he steals second, you know, steals third, and kind of gives you guys that run, what that did?
Yeah, I mean, that goes kind of, you know, under the table a little bit. You know, it was huge. Get there, third base, you know, less than 2 outs, give us a shot to do some things. You know, they brought the infield in, just poke a ball through, and you know, him going to second base on the errant throw was, you know, big. It's no big surprise to us. So you know, he's a gamer, he's a grinder, and you know, he's been huge.
Yeah, I think the most special part about that was him running on the first pitch. That's big time to get over there on the first pitch, and now you got a guy on third with no outs, no outs. So having the confidence and trust in your ability to get out there, know that the guy's a little bit slow to the plate, and we can take advantage of that, and to go on the first pitch was big time.
Stay on your right, guys. David.
Hi, guys. David Bassett, AM570, LA Sports.
Who?
Hi, David.
I was curious if you guys feel like after seeing all these Brewers relief pitchers after the first 5 games, you're starting to have that advantage of seeing them often and really no secrets now, and whether or not you feel like that's an advantage in the final 1 or 2 games.
Definitely an advantage. I think the more and more you see guys, the more you're capable of putting together a game plan and an approach that will work for you. I guess the weird thing was with the shadows and the conditions today and how hard it was to see up there. Those were actually our best at-bats we took against their bullpen. So definitely getting more comfortable, definitely knowing how they're attacking us, and, you know, we got pretty good results today.
First row on your left, guys.
Austin, how would you describe the way that your regular season was? And then can a moment like that hit off Woodruff, could that rewrite the story for you for an entire season?
I don't know, you know, rewriting it. Obviously, it was you know, kind of a grind for me this year, but in the postseason, you just put an emphasis on winning. You know, anything, whatever role you're in, whether it's on the, you know, not playing or not, you know, doing anything you can to help the team win. Whether it's talking to the pitchers in between starts, catching pins, or just having conversations. I think that's the most important thing. You know, I think the regular season's the regular season, but At this time of the year, it's all about winning games.
And second row to your right.
Austin, the contrast between Clayton in Game 1 and Clayton today, were there things that he did differently in attacking the Milwaukee hitters, and how much of that is familiarity? You've seen him, and now you see him again 5 days later.
When Kersh is right, it doesn't matter really. It's when he's mixing all three pitches and attacking hitters. It was a rough start for him in Milwaukee, but obviously we're all confident and with him on the mound, and he came back with a big performance today, kept us in the game and gave us a shot to win.
Hey, Justin, I know you thought all along you were confident you'd get to this point as a team, but it has been not always a smooth ride. And now that you're just one game shy, what's the feeling like getting back to the series?
Yeah, I think our whole season was a grind, and nothing came easy for us. And coming into this series, we knew we were playing a really good Milwaukee ball club, and they're playing their best baseball, and we're playing our best baseball. And we knew it was going to be a good series, and it was going to be tough. And we're battling, we're scrapping, we're grinding, finding ways to scratch runs across. And I'll tell you, it's a lot better feeling getting on the plane tomorrow, going there up 3-2 than it would be if we were down 2-3.
Do two last ones, Gabe?
Justin, playoff experience might be a debatable concept, but for all you guys have been through the last few years, especially 3 straight LCSs, how helpful will that be as you try to close this thing out going back there?
Yeah, I think the understanding of what's at stake and the experience is huge to just know the situation. It's something that we preach here all season long, and ever since I've been here, is playing 27 outs and not giving anything away. And as long as we have outs to work with, we feel like we're in games. And I think you've seen it this entire postseason. Even when we're behind, we're battling back, putting ourselves in a position to possibly tie games or take the lead late. And that's where the experience comes in. We never count ourselves out.
And we'll finish up with Mark, third row here left.
Austin, it's been a long time since anybody got Christian Yelich out consistently, and you guys have been able to do that in these games. Are you getting him out in different ways, and how important has it been just to kind of hold him down?
Yeah, our pitchers are doing a great job. One through 9 of their lineup, but obviously Yelly was an emphasis going into the series, and they're doing a great job of executing and making tough pitches on him. He's obviously an MVP. So executing to him is very important for the series.